Please go ahead.
Mr. President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
You said earlier that we've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough. What do you consider enough? What's your baseline?
Where they're not going to be starting the following day to develop a nuclear weapon. Where they'll look at that man and some other people from the administration and say, all right, we're not going to do it. They were not willing to say that. And when Steve called up and he said that to me, I said, well, here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. When basically I can see that they will no longer have any capacity whatsoever for a very long period of time of developing weaponry that could be used against the United States, Israel, or any of our allies. We have great allies in the Middle East, great countries that are allies. And they were staying out of it until they got hit. Someday they'll have to do a story. Why did he do that? Why did they do that? But they were going to hit them. If I didn't hit them first, they were going to hit our allies first. I believe, upon information and belief, but I believe that he was going to, they were going to take over the Middle East. They were looking to take over the Middle East. Now, had Operation Midnight Hammer not taken place, that was definite, because they would have had a nuclear weapon within a matter of weeks. But that took place. That was a setback. But look at the number of missiles they were able to buy and make over the last 6 months. And those missiles were aimed at various countries. And when you look at over 1,000 missiles shot at like UAE, they were looking to take over the Middle East. We got there first. We're lucky. I'll tell you what, the Middle East and those countries, very rich countries, are very lucky that I was president instead of somebody else.
To U.S. action in Iran?
I don't think so, no. No, we get along very well on this. He was, I would say, philosophically a little bit different than me. I think he was maybe less enthusiastic about going, but he was quite enthusiastic. But I felt it was something we had to do. I didn't feel we had a choice. If we didn't do it, they would have done it to us. I felt, based on the negotiations that were being had by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco and Pete, and everybody was involved, I felt that they were looking to tap us along before they hit, and I thought they were going to hit. And if they hit us first, that would have been a very bad thing. In the back, please, in the back. About the Strait, you mean? Yeah, well, I want to keep it open. I want to keep it good. You know, it doesn't pertain to us so much as it does to China. We're really helping China here and other countries because they get a lot of their energy from the Straits. But, hey, look, we have a good relationship with China. It's my honor to do it. Yeah.
You have called him an unacceptable choice. So does he have a target on his back? And how can you say
I don't want to say whether or not he does, because that would be inappropriate. But, hey, look, I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we just got them first. But they caught the assassin. They have him now in custody that was after me. So, you know, but people don't like to mention that, but they did catch him. And I'd like to congratulate our military, Secret Service, FBI, all of the people that worked on that, but they did. Yeah, please. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You promised the Iranian people you would help them, but it sounds like you're willing to end this fight after your military objectives have wrapped up. Isn't that a betrayal of the people?
Will I help them? I'd like to, if they can behave, but they've been very menacing. You know, they're great people. They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great part. I'd love to help them, but they have to be in a system that allows them to be helped. And right now they're in a system that only allows failure. And I don't want that. And I want a system that's not going to be attacking us. We want a system that can lead to many years of peace. And if we can't have that, we might as well get it over with right now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, as of today, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflicts like this, you always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing, every single one: finish the job, sir. Please finish the job. And I'll leave you at that. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right, that was the U.S. president speaking in Florida, and he had earlier spoken an hour back, now addressing the media, taking questions from the media regarding the war in Iran, talking about oil in Venezuela, and also talking about his phone call with Vladimir Putin, addressing questions regarding till when this will go on, and also regarding the explosion which took place, the missile attack on an elementary school in Minab city in southern Iran, which took place on the first day of this war, which started on 28th of February. A lot has been spoken about by the US president. I'll quickly cut across to my colleague Susan joining me from New York. Susan, you were hearing the speech as well. You were hearing his address to the media. Your key takeaways, let's start there.
Well, I thought it was interesting that he said that we're now targeting Iran's drone production sites and we're making major strides. He said that Iranian missile launchers have 90% declined. Drone is down by 83%. And the U.S. is now using low-cost interceptors. We've taken out their leadership. He said, as you know, they have 2 tiers of leadership, and we've targeted all of them, and we don't want another person to come and be hostile to the United States. He faced many questions, 3 or 4, about Iran's new supreme leader, which, by the way, we haven't heard directly from yet. He would not commit to making any comments regarding the new supreme leader, which is the son of the former supreme leader, but he said that he doesn't want a leadership there where the United States can't work with, and also where the Iranian people wouldn't be happy with. And it's interesting that, he doesn't go as far as all out saying that he wants regime change, but he does make comments like this, sort of, in a veil, in a vacuum. He also said that he wants to see the ending of Iran's threat in the Strait of Hormuz. He talked about the ships passing the Strait of Hormuz. And while he said that the U.S. military had attacked the large part of Iran's navy, he said that if we see ships being attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, then the United States would start attacking them. I'm not sure this is the kind of guarantee that ships wanted to see from the president when he said that, we'll guarantee their safe passage. But nonetheless, he seemed confident. I think it was interesting that he said that the war is going to end sooner than later, considering the fact that the Iranian regime is in place. Iran is still launching missiles. We have to see when that is, so a question right there. He also said that higher gas prices are temporary. He said the United States has oil. He said China will be affected by what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think that's a negative for the Trump administration. But I thought it was interesting that he also said that, Cuba might be next in line, shifting from the Middle East all the way to the Americas on this side. So a lot of points that the president made, some of them weren't new. We had heard from Pete Hegseth and also military officials here. But I think the point where he tried to make a few times was that the war is going to end soon. How soon? He said we're ahead of that 4 to 5 week schedule that initially he had mentioned. So that'll be interesting to see how this is going to play out, this timeline that he keeps, moving back and forth.
Susan, thanks so much for wrapping that up for all of us. Of course, this is the US President Donald Trump speaking, so there are a lot of statements that have come out. How much of it is going to be present on ground? How much of it is going to be impacting the situation in Iran? We'll need to wait and watch. That was Donald Trump speaking in Miami, and I just spoke with my colleague Susan over the phone regarding the key takeaways.